Would you please stand with me for the reading of God's word? This is Matthew 16 through 20. Matthew 28, 16 through 20. The 11 disciples traveled to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had directed them. When they saw him, they worshipped, but some doubted. And Jesus came near and said to them, "All authority has been given to me in earth and on heaven. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always to the end of the age." This is the word of God.
Okay, y'all are welcome to have a seat. My name is Seth, and I have the privilege of getting to serve as one of the pastors here at Imago. And what I get to do is think a lot about our young people, think a lot about our next generation of kids and students, and I get to think a lot about what does it look like for our church to show up in the city outside of this building, the ways that God has invited us to, and what does that look like even beyond our city, beyond our borders. And over the years, Imago has done a lot of different things in that space. For a long time, we had partnership with folks in Vietnam, partnership with folks in Rwanda. We continue to do that. Partnership with folks in Western Kenya, clean water projects, Imago Day community. You have given like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to clean water in Western Kenya just in the last few years. And people's lives have been transformed because of that clean water that they had and because of the relationship that they've had with the folks on the ground that are bringing that to communities that don't have it right now. And so this morning I'm excited because I get to talk about all of those things that I do in my role here at Imago combined into one place. Before we do that, we're going to pause the pictures just for a second because they're really cute and you're going to be having a hard time hearing what I'm saying. And so this is what's important right now. The reason that we are about this is because as a community here at Imago Day, we believe that it is our invitation to go into the world. This passage that Elise just read for us tells us to go and make disciples of all nations. In the book of Acts, a few books later in the New Testament, Luke is recording some words of Jesus that say, I want you to begin here, and then I want you to move out to these people that aren't like you, and then I want you to go even further out to these people that you don't understand yet, and do something with them in my name. And so as Imago has been figuring that out through the world, we have been asking that same thing. What is ours to do in the name of Jesus outside of our country? And if you, like me, probably you guys are more healthy than me, actually. I deleted Instagram a couple months ago, but instead I just read the news more now. So I am not morally superior to anyone, even though I try to make people think that sometimes. And the more I read the news, the more I am aware that there are terrible things happening all over the world all the time. Last night, I had a bad headache and I couldn't sleep, and so instead I was watching videos of humanitarian crises and destruction that is happening in our world like this week. I was watching folks in Gaza struggling to get food. I was learning about the crisis that has been going for years and years and years in Congo and in Sudan and Yemen, and that's just like a few things that are happening around the world. And my heart just gets broken over and over and over and over again as I think about that, as I learn about that. And for me, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but for me, I feel like this certain privilege that I get to bear witness to this time in history. Not because it's beautiful, but because God has placed me, he has placed you in this same time of history as all of these things that are happening around the world. And when I bear witness to these things, I can't look away. I don't feel that invitation from the Spirit. And I know that not everything is mine to do and to fix. Are you guys tracking with me so far? There's a lot of both and in this conversation. And so I have a relationship with a community leader. His name is Ruben. And a couple weeks ago, I was getting to be with him. He was leading several of us in a time of worship, and he was talking about our area of concern and our ability to have influence. And he was saying that sometimes our area of concern is so great that our area of influence does not match that, and we are just overwhelmed and tired all the time because we have this idea that everything is ours to do. And what I want to say is, as we're talking about the entire world, I don't believe that any of it is an invitation to look away, but I also don't think it is an invitation for us as a community to do everything all of the time. And so when Elise said that we have a few global partnerships and we want to foster those relationships to be strong and beautiful and intentional and rooted in relationship, that is exactly what we are doing. And so several years ago, when I began hearing about an organization called Noe International, I really felt the urging of the Spirit to dig more into that, and knew that at that time, it wasn't for all of Imago to step into yet. I didn't feel like we were in a place to add more to that. I didn't feel like we, to be totally honest, had a good vision for how we were going to do global partnerships moving forward at Imago. But I kept meeting more and more people from this organization. And then last February, I was invited to go down and to see it with my own eyes with some people here at Imago who have been supporting it for quite some time. And you guys, I think sometimes we forget that God is alive outside of the things we can see. I think sometimes we forget that God is actually so much bigger than we take the time to give him credit for. And when I had the chance to go visit this organization, Noe International, in Morelia, Mexico, I was blown away at the things God was doing through relationships with young people in this city. Morelia is a city of about 1 million people, so it's roughly like the size of the metro area here in Portland. And the mission of Noe International is that for the folks who are helping to run the organization, because they have known the love of Jesus through the power of relationship, they want to give that away to their community. They want to give that away to their community through teaching English to young people, through creating spaces for kids to play basketball, to learn art, to play music together. But more than anything, to build relationship with the folks who are in those places and get to pour into the lives of people day after day after day after day. And kids are growing up in this organization, getting to know not just a new language, not just a new skill, but also like how good Jesus' love is and what it looks like when we allow that love to transform us. Because Imago Dei, I think that's what we all want for our own lives too, right? Right? This is interactive, so you can like move your body if you want. I know it's hot. I'm sweating. You're maybe sweating. It's fine. And so a couple months ago, I was like, we have got to get down there with a group from Imago. And what I wanted to make sure we did, though, was to have our first group that we took down to see what was happening, to build relationship. I don't call it a mission trip. I call it a relationship trip. It doesn't sound as like good, but it gets at the heart of what we are about here. Like, we are not just showing up to do something and to pat ourselves on the back. We are showing up to learn alongside and to be transformed by what the Spirit wants to do through our two communities, connecting with one another. And I wanted to make sure that we brought our high schoolers there first, because I have been so moved by our high schoolers over these past several years. I see them as leaders in our church and leading the way for how justice plays out here in the church, here in our city, and the way they are thinking about the rest of the world beyond just themselves. And so today we have the opportunity to hear from several of the students who spent some time down in Morelia with us a few months ago. So I'm going to invite them to come up and to find a seat up here on the stage. Would you welcome our crew right now? Now's the awkward part when you don't know what to do, because Seth should have planned something while they were walking up, but we're just kind of staring in a good way. Here, we good? I even counted the stools beforehand, so I think you guys should be proud of me for that. Y'all, these people not only did an incredible thing in visiting Morelia, they also endured an international trip with me. One of those things included being trapped in the airport for like 12 hours one day.
I literally told you to not talk about the airport.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, I'm not the one who took pictures of me sleeping and sent them to hundreds of people, but that's another thing for another day. And so there's gonna be some pictures that go by that you can look at while we're talking to just get a little bit of a glimpse of what we had the opportunity to experience while we were down there together. And I've given our students some questions to think about the last week about what it would look like for us to share this experience with our church, because we went as representatives of y'all. We didn't just go on our own. And so Tiffany, Pastor Tiffany, is going to share a little bit first.
Hi. Christina, good to see you. I didn't know you were going to be here. Sorry. I did not post any pictures on Instagram, Seth. So since you're off Instagram, just so you know, none of the pictures made
I don't
Instagram.
believe you, but it's fine.
You guys, I get the opportunity to be the youth pastor here at Imago, which is such a gift. And this was kind of emotional because like these kids are like my OG youth group, including Maddie. And so we got to go to Mexico together. And I'm going to kind of repeat what Seth said. I have done several mission trips, but the one thing that is really beautiful about No Way, it's actually in their mission statement, is the way they build relational equity. And I think that sounds very Jesus-y, and of course we're all about relational equity, but I just feel like that for me, like I want the kids to speak most of the time, but the whole way they do relationship, I don't really know a way that you can embody Jesus any more than the way they do relationship. And I think for us, when we came to No Way, like we were ready to work. We were ready to go and like help and to change these people. And we came and they were just like, so tell us about yourselves. And it was just like, it was almost hard for us because we just wanted to work and they just wanted to be in relationship with us. And when you walk into a community center, there's no like, you can't tell who the most important person is from the least important person, from lack of a better word. Like, they're all like, the playing field is leveled. Everybody is serving, everybody knows your name, everybody like, they're there to just embody who you are, and that relational equity is literally the life of Jesus and the way that Jesus wants us to live. And I think that one thing for me with youth group that is so important is we go do city team, and we serve our houseless community, and we work at senior centers, and we like do things through the city. Is I've never wanted to create like a social club with our youth group. I want us to be about like, I want us to build community with each other so that we can go out and be the hands and feet of Jesus. And it really is the long game of relationship. And when people feel seen and heard and valued, they really can change the world. And I think that No Way has a way of doing that is just really beautiful. And we got an opportunity to do that. And I was praying over all of you this morning, and I was thinking, like, you guys have really strong personalities, and I love that about you. And the fact that we got to be together for a whole week and in a small space together and do life together for a whole week and really get along really well and serve at this capacity was really beautiful. But I think
Mostly got along really
mostly
well.
got along. We got along for the most part.
I mean, I'm a sinner, so I'll admit it. Like, that's fine.
But I think there was one night, I mean, there was several highlights, but probably my favorite night was, there was a night that Seth and one of the leaders from the community, they did a sermon, he did a Bible study for the kids, and Seth did the Bible study, and he interpreted it in Spanish. Seth would say he doesn't speak good Spanish, but he actually really does. And our girls, all of this team got up, and they led worship together. And it was really, really beautiful to see, like, just the community that we have built together here at Imago, be able to get up and do worship together in this community that, like, Seth said it best, too. Like, we forget that the Holy Spirit is moving, like, across the whole world. And just to be embodied in that, in this beautiful place, it was really beautiful.
Yeah. I wanna hear next from, this is Christina DeLapp. Everyone say, hi, Christina. Christina is one of the coolest people I know, and Christina actually spent about 3 months with Noe over the last 3 months. And Christina, I was wondering, could you share a little bit about, like, what is, like, I can say what Noe is doing, like, in a big picture way, but, like, what did you see Noe doing in the city while you were there?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting much because, well, I've known Noe like since my parents, way long before, but what I knew that I was gonna do going down there, I was gonna teach English to the students, and that was about it. That's all I was expecting from them. But I got there, I immediately felt like I was going home because I grew up in a Hispanic culture, so going there was easily adoptable, I guess. But I got there, instead of immediately going to teach English, they immediately welcomed me with open arms, started like showing me around, and like they said, they're very open to like anyone. They immediately just want to know who you are and how God has like moved you in many ways. And that's what I learned through Noe, like, and the students there. Amazing. I don't know, like, I don't have any words how to explain how the students moved me and how, like, their story some of them got me in tears. So, most of them, but it was amazing. I enjoyed seeing the warmth and, like, the way they show the love for God. In just the way they are. And it made me think about like how that used to be when I was a child, just like openly praising God, anytime saying, God bless, this is how do you say it? This is what God provided for us. And even with the hardships and stuff, that's what I kept on seeing in Noe. And it like to move me, it makes me think about like my life right now, just because every single day I saw that, and now I'm continue seeing that in life and being like, this is what God provided for me, and I've noticed that because of Noe. So it wasn't just like one way, but it was two way. Like I was learning from them, and they were teaching me, and I was teaching them, and they were learning and stuff like that. But so,
That's so good. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, when we showed up there too, I really felt like this very clear New Testament way of being believers with other people. This idea of like, we don't have anything in common except Jesus, and so we immediately care about each other, show up for each other, and get each other what we need. Yeah. And we sometimes in the U.S. church do not necessarily function like that. And there's something so beautiful for us to see in that and to begin to transform in the way that we interact with one another. And so I wanna ask all of our students, how did you see God working in the way? Sophia, you wanna share?
Yeah, I'd love to. I was just so overwhelmed when I first got there, the willingness for each student to be so vulnerable. Especially, we came on a week that was final exams for them, and I think in any other setting it would be super tense and exhausting. And they showed up to every event just with this enthusiasm and excitement to just worship the Lord and also be with their friends, as well as like make new friends and meet people who didn't even speak much Spanish at all.
Yeah.
I was just super overwhelmed by their hospitality and just way of loving was so incredible. And I think that the only way that can function and work well is just when it's centered fully around God. And that's what each of them exemplified. They just constantly showed that they prioritize just being with each other in this community. I was so impressed just by this, like, probably the most stressful part of their entire year. They studied for years to be able to come here and pass this exam, and they still just showed up with all this enthusiasm and excitement. Super impressed by it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Tony, what about for you?
I think I kind of went into it knowing that we weren't the first group from out of their country to visit them. And because of that, I think it was really cool for me to see, like, this is everyday life for them. And this is, no matter what food we would eat, like, memories we're making, experience we're having, like, it's new and exciting for us because this is not where we're from and this was cool for us to experience. But I think seeing them give so much love and attention and generosity to us, knowing that this is normal for them and this is everyday life, made me realize, like, how much more we could be appreciating everyday life, I guess, since, I don't know, I find it hard to find the beauty in living every day and just, like, showing the same love to people that they show to us, I guess.
Yes, so good. Iris, you want to share, like, how do you see God working in this organization that we as an entire community are now supporting?
It's clear that God is working and his presence is in a way. He is working in the mission, in the hearts of the people there. It's just really beautiful for them to just serve with, like, the leaders and the friendships and the relationships. And there's so many, like, educational and social opportunities so that everyone can come and be valued and lifted up as they and their families come to Jesus. And the love of God is so deeply present in that space, and they love their city, Morelia, Mexico, so well.
That's so right. Yeah. Alina, you want to share?
Yeah. I saw Jesus working through Noe, just through the love and care that we were shown immediately from the get-go. We were so tired from the airport. We were greeted with, like, open arms and hugs when we didn't even know their names. And there was just not one moment where we weren't, like, totally enveloped in love and care.
Yeah.
And so that's
so
how I
good.
experienced.
That's so good. I want to know from you guys, what changed in you when you went on this trip and built relationship with these folks? Sophia, you want to share?
So I came to this mission trip with absolutely okay, I'll say 2 years of high school Spanish education, which, as you can imagine, didn't take me too far. And Seth reiterated many times that we did not need to know Spanish, but I think the minute I got off the plane and I heard everyone just speaking Spanish, I was super overwhelmed. And I was kind of like, oh, it's my one skill, my one talent, is being able to communicate. I'm a big extrovert, if you've talked to me in any other place.
Yes, you are.
So I was like, shoot, I have to figure this out. I'm probably gonna be super quiet this trip. And I was so just impressed by how much a lot of the relationships, I would say my closest ones actually, were with like little kids who didn't speak any English, and I spoke, again, very little Spanish. And I still was able to build these beautiful connections with this like huge language barrier, which was so interesting and just very different to what I think a lot of us are used to. These two boys actually up here, Liam and Ali, we spent a lot of time with them, and we spent a lot of car rides with them as well. And most of the time, Lane speaks a lot better Spanish than I, but we still would just play car games, and they taught us a lot of handshakes, and I think I built one of the strongest connections with those two boys without even speaking their language, which was something I'm just so not used to, and it was also just really beautiful. To be able to see God work through these connections with such a big barrier that I was really scared to overcome. So,
Yeah, that's so good. And these two boys are the sons of one of the center's directors, whose name is Saeed. And I think it was such an incredible gift to we spent a lot of time with their family. It wasn't like something where we showed up to take care of a bunch of random kids we will never see again. We had the opportunity to build a relationship with this family that is lasting much longer than just a couple of days, which is really, I think, unique in how we often approach cross-cultural connections in the U.S. church. Tony, do you want to share a little bit?
Yeah. Okay, what changed in me? I would say, I kind of mentioned earlier, but I was very preoccupied and worried, I think, a little bit of their perception of us, because I really didn't want to be like a stereotypical American tourist that was there just to leave and then experience them, not give anything, and then just take and come back home and talk about it, especially because I know this organization has so many people coming in, and so I really didn't want it to just be this passing interaction kind of thing. So I think because of that, I was very intentional, more so than usual, of being outgoing and starting off a connection right off the bat. And I think that got me far in terms of connection, relationship, having fun with people. And that's something that I don't usually do, I think. Usually less outgoing than I was. So that was cool. I think I forced myself to for fear of something that I don't think we did. I think it was good in that sense. And I just got to just right off the first day make friends, and then know the next morning I get to see these people again and be excited for that. So yeah.
So good. Layden, you want to share a little bit about what you felt changed in you?
Sure, yeah. I feel like every day, honestly, we didn't really know what was going on. There was a rough schedule, but we all kind of
Which is so surprising with me running it, Yeah.
But every day we were just I'm proud of us as a group. We were very flexible with our time and days, but we were all super open to the new experiences, and just generally, I think, more openness to new experiences, meeting new people, doing new things, trying new foods. Who knew there were so many different types of tacos? So
many kinds of tacos.
And I was
it's
what?
not just a stereotype.
It's
that is what we ate
crazy.
for every meal.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about tacos. Iris, do you want to share a little bit about what you feel changed in you?
Yeah, for sure. This trip has been an incredible opportunity for me to experience and see a different culture and grow in love with the people around me at No Way. From the moment we arrived in Morelia, the people at No Way were so welcoming and embraced us with open arms. So much food, laughter, and intentional time together. Their warmth and hospitality greatly inspired me to be more hospitable and welcoming to those around me in Portland and beyond. It also further ignited my interest in international missions, and I would love to go back to Norway and be like an art teacher there. So, yeah.
So cool. So cool. Christina, I'm really interested in, like, as a community, we are now financially, like, giving toward this work that's happening in Morelia. Why do you think that it's worth it for Imago to invest in what's happening there?
Sorry again.
Like, why, if someone comes to you and they're like, why are we giving to this organization? There's like hundreds of other ones. What's like special about us partnering with them?
I think I've known, well, most everyone here, and I like how you guys give, and like you don't question anything about who you're giving it to. You just want to know that it's going to this part and it's helping them. Well, from what I see, no judgments. I don't.
It's a good judgment. That feels like a good judgment. Good.
And I feel like me going down to Norway and seeing what they do with the money and how they can help the kids, I feel like it is a good, I don't know if it's investment or like, it's a good giving.
Yeah.
Because down in Norway, they immediately don't like, they should be like building up the schools a little more because it's going run down and stuff like that. But they immediately give it to the kids. Seth, please. They immediately give it to the kids who need it, and help out wherever they can. If it's between the families, the students, just anything about that. Like there's 4 noise. Center
4
noise
centers
there,
around the city.
And they immediately give out to all of them. It's not like the buildings. Like they do stuff like that with them and start building up. But it's mostly all about the students, which I feel like it's a very good investment because it's helping out their family. And from what I can tell with the students, they're very grateful with that. Like they immediately are like, oh, we get to go to school. Like, what are we learning now? Like they immediately have that joy. So I feel like it is a very good given, and thank you for them.
Yeah. Tiff, will you speak to that a little bit, like from your pastoral perspective? Also, can you hold the mic closer to your face? Thanks so much.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
I think that, like I said earlier, like Imago, it was really, it does give these kids an opportunity. It was very humbling. Like we all know this. Like we know we're privileged here and we can say that, but like to actually be there and see just the way that they impact the community, not just like the impact that Noe has just for the community as a whole is really quite profound and quite beautiful. Not just the kids, but the kids and their families and how transformative it is. Education is a gift, you guys, and education empowers people, and we know that, but to actually see, like, just I kind of laugh sometimes, we're like, oh, school starts, and no, well, kind of judging. Like, they get so excited for an opportunity for education. Like, it is such a gift for them, and when we can, like, give that opportunity, it increases like resources for their entire family. And so, and it's just like, but Noe is so holistic. Like I wouldn't say just education, literally it's see a need, fill a need. Like there's food, like it provides, because it's so relational, I feel like they have relational equity with each one of these kids and each one of the kids' families. And so they know what the needs are. Christina could speak more to this, but it just feels like it's so holistic, and the impact it makes on the community as a whole. It's funny to see the kids graduate from Noe, because I think they're kind of like, they just, it's circular.
Yeah.
They come back because they want to give back to this community that gave them so much. So the impact it makes is really, really, really profound, not just with these certain kids, but the community as a whole. And the community centers are such a safe place for kids and their families, and such a gift. So if we can even be a part, if that doesn't say Jesus, I don't really know what does. Like, that's literally just the embodiment of Jesus.
Yeah, and when we are thinking about global partnerships, and I think what struck me so much about No Way is we say here at Imago Dei Community that we want to bring the whole gospel to the whole person in the whole world. And so when we see what No Way is doing, like very clearly about that very same mission, whether they're saying that in their announcements every week or not, like it is happening so clearly, which is a really beautiful thing. Like, I feel lucky that we get to learn from them of what that looks like more and more and more. Really cool. Iris, do you want to speak to that at all? Like, why do you think it's like important for our church to build this relationship with No Way?
Yeah, Imago's partnership with Noe is a total gift. It allows us to witness how God is moving in a different part of the world, and it reminds us that Jesus' love and reaches across every culture and community. We get to witness our brothers and sisters at No Way living out their faith in Jesus as they are so filled with joy, openness, and hospitality. This experience has shown me that we're not only there to serve, but we are there to learn and build relationships with the people through Jesus' love. Learning from their beautiful love for God and the way that it overflows through them in the city of Morelia helps us, Imago, grow in care of our city and our neighbors in Portland.
Absolutely. Do you guys want to speak to that at all?
I think it's really cool to have just a reminder that there's so much more than just Portland, because I think Imago does a really good job emphasizing the local and the city needs and how we can serve in that. But I'm reminded of the whole, like, think globally, act locally. And I think having friends and relationships and partners a country away is a way for us to remember that there is a bigger picture and there's like a bigger idea here that we should ultimately be working towards. And no matter how dire or necessary like our help is to them, it's still a way for us to know each other and like know that like the other person or group is just like a few hours away, but we have the same goals, the same values, and we want to help each other, even if we don't have the same life circumstances. So for me, it was cool. Like, it was a reminder of how much bigger everything really is outside of Portland.
Yeah, so good. Do you want to speak to that at all, Lainey?
Yeah, I think something that has been something that is so profound is like the relationships across borders aspect. And I know that some of us have stayed in contact with some people that we've met down there, and then with the No Way Dream Team, a group of students comes up to Portland and Seattle every year, and so we were able to interact with them a little bit, meet them down there first, and then hang out with them again up here. And so I think just providing the younger generations, meaning us, those like life-changing
Like me,
experience,
too?
like you too.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Like these life-changing experiences both ways, and I just think it's really special.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So you just stared at me.
I'm just going to stare at you until you say something really good.
No worries.
Yeah.
I know that you've probably heard this like 1,000 times today, but genuinely going down there, it was the most welcoming community I think I've ever witnessed. Like, the minute we stepped foot in Morelia, we were treated like family members, and they have such a beautiful way of cultivating that like familial community that I really haven't seen anywhere else in such a short period of time too. I mean, I know they've known each other for years, but they just welcomed us in with like, I was so overwhelmed by just how strong their like kind of community and family was. And honestly, I really hope that most people in Imago can experience that again. Like, I selfishly would love to go back again and be able to see them. And also, I'm like, I would love for our youth to be able to kind of be partners in that and be able to go down and kind of witness a totally new way of God's love that I was very much not familiar with before going down. I really hope that this can be a partnership that we can stay really close to them. And as well, like, they came back to America, the Dream Team did, and being able to see them, like, they were so happy that they had familiar faces. I thought we were bold and, like, brave going down there with a group of, like, a ton of us that we knew. And they come to America fully separated from their friends, and just with host families that they don't know. So, like, them being able to come here and know us and have a relationship with us was something super beautiful, and I loved being able to see them after the mission trip.
Yeah, so good. There's a reason that Jesus says, like, the two most important things that we are about is loving God and loving our neighbor. And I love that in the New Testament, Jesus redefines who our neighbor is a few times. It is not just the person who I'm in proximity with. It's not just the person who I share faith with. It's not just the person I share a language or a skin color with. Like, if my call is to go out into all the world, like, the whole world is my neighbor. And what a privilege, what an honor that we had to go, and what a privilege and an honor that we have as a community to give toward this thing that God is doing in Morelia, Mexico. And it does not stop with just like one relationship trip. Our hope is that every fall or winter that we can take a group of adults who are interested in going to see what God is doing, and that every summer we would be able to take a group of youth that are excited and partnering with God in this way, with this particular group of people in this particular city. And so there is more and more and more to come from this. You can expect that you're going to hear more stories, and you can expect that you're going to see more pictures, and you can expect that you are going to be asked to pray for folks who are doing beautiful work that God has connected us with. So it does not end just here. We're really excited about it. Sometimes when we have Sundays like this, people will say to me, like, that was sweet, but I'm so bummed we didn't get a sermon. And that's cool. If you said that to me, I'm not calling you out specifically. It's okay. You're allowed to feel that way. And also, my curiosity today for us as a community is just like, what is it that Jesus might want to stir up in every single one of us through what we heard today, through what we heard from these young people and Tiffany, and myself also. I'm old too. One of us still in our 30s though, so. What is it that Jesus might want to stir up in us? How might the Holy Spirit open our eyes to what's happening outside of the U.S. in a new way this week? Like, what might we be invited to give toward with our time, our prayers, our resources, to what God is doing far beyond just what we see every day? You guys can go sit down if you would like to. Thank you so much. Can you guys put those over there?